In the Trump effect, online retailer Amazon had a roller coaster of a day on Wall Street, all because of one tweet from President Trump. The president aired out his grievances with Amazon, saying it isn't paying fair taxes and that it's hurting the U.S. Postal Service. Well, the tweet initially sent shares for the company plunging to a 7-week low before it eventually recovered. This all comes after a report by Axios that claimed wealthy Trump associates are complaining about Amazon's effect on traditional retail stores. Correspondent Lana Zach has more.
In his most recent attack against Amazon, the president tweets, "They pay little or no taxes to state and local governments, use our postal system as their delivery boy, causing tremendous loss to the U.S., and are putting many thousands of retailers out of business." Amazon, which paid $412 million in taxes in 2016, says they support legislation that would standardize state and local tax collection. They say they currently collect taxes in the 45 states with a sales tax, though third-party retailers may have other arrangements. The White House says it's nothing personal.
The president has said many times before he's always looking to create a level playing field for all businesses, and this is no different.
President Trump has repeatedly linked his problems with Amazon to its founder, Jeff Bezos, who also owns the Washington Post.
So I have these phony stories come out in the Washington Post. The owner of the Washington Post, do you know what he owns? Amazon.
That was Lana Zach reporting. Joining me now, Ian King, senior analyst with Banyan Hill Publishing. Ian, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
The president says it's not personal. Sure sounds like it.
Sounds kind of like a personal vendetta to me.
Right. Well, what do you think the real issue here is with Amazon? I mean, is the company really not paying taxes? Is it really stealing jobs and revenue from the Postal Service here?
Well, Amazon is going to report profits of $5.4 billion in 2017, and they're going to pay zero taxes on that. But the reason for this is that they've got tax credits from past administration, and also because of the new Trump tax plan, cutting the corporate rate from 35 to 21%, their effective tax goes to zero.
But they do pay some taxes here, I mean, in terms of just operating as a business in the United States, right?
So in 2016, they paid about $400 million in taxes. This is on, $100 billion worth of revenue. They collect sales taxes now in 45 states, something they used to not do. The problem, which Trump might be pointing to, is they're not collecting sales taxes for third-party vendors. And if you go on the Amazon website, there's something called Fulfilled by Amazon. And now there's 100,000 mom-and-pop retailers that sell goods on the Amazon platform, and they don't collect sales taxes. And if you start having these mom-and-pop retailers collect sales taxes, you're effectively hurting the little guy in this case.
Let's talk about the Postal Service here. Amazon, obviously shipping packages all over the place, millions of them. Doesn't that create more jobs, more work for a Postal Service that's been struggling for years with debt and not making a profit here?
Right. Every year, Amazon sits down with the U.S. Postal Service and comes to an agreement to make sure that the work that the Postal Service is doing is profitable.
And so in this case, is the president telling the truth here? Or is there somewhere in the middle?
There's sometimes a difference between what he tweets and what's reality.
Right.
I think, his general distinction of them not paying taxes is accurate. The problem is, when he was campaigning, he considered himself very smart for not paying taxes, so it's really hard to follow that logic and with Amazon not paying taxes.
Exactly. I mean, that's the point that struck me. Here's a president who's refusing to release his own taxes, but is complaining about Amazon not paying taxes. There seems to be a double standard here. Let's talk about, though, you mentioned these smaller mom-and-pop shops, but even the big corporations like Walmart and others that are essentially doing the same thing, getting tax credits, getting benefits, and being wooed by communities to come into and do business there. I mean, isn't that a good thing for the economy?
Sure. I mean, if you're a capitalist, like the president says he is, you love creative destruction, right?
Sure.
The issue is the structural problem of people losing their jobs and having to retrain them for jobs in the new economy. So if we want to do something constructive here, let's think about how we can retrain employees who have lost their jobs as a result of Amazon or Walmart moving in to work in jobs for the new economy.
And the byproduct of this is Amazon really struggled on Wall Street because of the president's tweet. So
I think that's not the real story. The real story is what's going on with Facebook.
Right.
And Amazon is a big collector of data, obviously, and they use it as part of their model. A couple years ago, they filed for a patent for anticipatory shipping.
Right.
So they want to know what you want to order before you order it and meet that demand before it actually order occurs.
Well, Ian King, senior analyst with Banyan Hill Publishing, thanks for bringing us your insight.
Thank you.